VR game. I remember playing this built-in ends game on my Nokia C503 using touchscreen for the first time in my life, controlling ants with my fingertips. And I remember thinking to myself, this will be the revolution in a video games industry.
The power of the sun in the palm of my hand.
And then I went on to play the same Java games all of my friends were playing, except now I had to use stupid uncomfortable touch controls. Comfort being the key word here. I'm sure going wireless with Oculus Quest changed a lot in terms of comfort.
This is it. This is the all-in-one VR experience that we have been waiting for. It's wireless, it's got hand presence, 6 degrees of freedom.
But it cannot change the fundamentals, which is, you know, my back hurts and my room is small. It's big enough to play Beat Saber and Pistol Whip, and even twist and turn to crush my enemies in Gorn. Well, as long as you are willing to endure pain from hitting the wall from time to time. But as soon as we're talking about actually walking, it's obviously not gonna work, so playing Half-Life Alyx, Blade and Sorcery, Resident Evil 4, you end up just standing still most of the time, using the controller nipple to move around, which causes that sweet, I've never worked out in my life, lower back pain. So, how does Resist solve this issue? Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you. A chair.
Chairs are supported most often by 4 legs and have a back.
One of the first things you'll see in this game is this screen. Resist is played at a fixed player height, no matter if you are seated or standing. Don't get me wrong, sure, immersion is cool, looking around is cool. A more active way of playing video games is probably better for your health. I mean, granted, it involves blasting light right at your pupils, but hey, at least you're not sitting in a chair, right? Besides, playing while seated leads to game not only being less immersive, but also you become limited in ways you can interact with the world. What the fuck is going on in this commercial? If you need to shoot in downwards direction, your knees get in the way, and also you might start shooting with your elbows resting on your legs because it's easier, but also wrong. However, playing seated is more comfortable, which is probably the reason why Resist became the first VR game to actually get me to the end credits. It starts off with a really cool introduction sequence. Your goal is to plant a spy bug on the window of a big skyscraper, so you pose as a window cleaner in order to get there. And I need to change batteries on my left controller.
You are now entering a high-risk work environment. Please equip appropriate safety gear. To activate your safety equipment, you must first what?
The coolest thing about this sequence is that it makes the player afraid of heights, before completely breaking that fear by turning protagonist into Spider-Man. I especially liked the first plank you have to walk. I was playing standing at the time, and the difference of you actually walking forward in real life from you pressing forward on the controller is striking. However, sooner or later you hit the wall.
You know you're not actually a window cleaner, right?
I know, but it's oddly satisfying.
Take us to the right level. Then you just have to find the Vice President's office and toss the bug onto the window.
Mission failed. We'll get them next time.
I think it's time we went our separate ways. Goodbye, Hammond.
Did he just shoot him?
No, he wouldn't.
Security, this is Emerson. President Hammond has been killed.
Sam, I think you need to get out of there.
He was a resistance terrorist posing as a window cleaner.
Oh, shit. shit!
She's still out there. Dispatch some drones and kill that scum.
Sam, go!
Ezra, help me!
I'm trying.
Ezra! What's happening? Ezra, can you hear me?
I very much doubt it.
Who are you? How are you doing this?
Who I am is of little importance right now. What matters is what I can teach you.
Welcome to the desert of the real.
And that's how the game begins.
Holy shit!
I mean, the tutorial begins.
Now, follow the path to the waypoint.
Okay, let's pretend for a moment that this is really real. Who exactly are you? And how are you able to do this?
Oddly enough, answering either question will answer them both.
So, are you gonna answer either of them?
Fuck you, Spider-Man!
If you're not prone to motion sickness and want to have a more realistic experience, I recommend turning off many comfort options and hide most of the UI elements, like this prediction trail of where you'll fly or lasers on your hands. Now, video cannot convey how cool it is to fly in this game, so just try to imagine what it feels like to hear this.
Until now, things have been moving at 70% of normal speed. I think it's time to increase that.
No, too fast, too fast!
And with this, the tutorial ends and we get snapped back to reality. Wait, this is bullshit. Let me turn this off. This is not Mirror's Edge after all. Okay, this is better.
Holy shit, how are you doing this?
It's hard to explain.
Save it then. Those drones will still be after you. I'm sending you a waypoint. Get there immediately.
Now, I've said that this is not Mirror's Edge, but boy does it feels like it. Similar city design and similar goals. Basically, one speedy lady gets to overthrow the dystopian government. Except while Faith used actual skills to be fast, Sam uses a
Those gloves were actually designed for scaling buildings for maintenance.
safety strap for window cleaners. After destroying a bunch of drone pursuers, you head to a safe house, where the real game begins.
Safe house. Entirely off the grid. They can't find you here.
So what now? Do I just swing my way into the Capitol building and start shooting?
I like the enthusiasm, but let's start smaller. Activate the map.
No, seriously, it's a smart way to not force the player stupidly stand still with nothing to do while getting exposition dumps. And I also really like the map and the way you interact with it. Makes you feel like Tony Stark or something. Shortly before entering the safe house, we've got introduced to an upgrade system by unlocking bullet time in the utility tree. It is explained in the story as your friend uploading a special program that does some rewiring of the brain through your neural implant, making perceived time slower. Which is fine, but it also implies that your friend has a remote access to your brain. And it really makes you think about how far will technology go. Actually, wherever bullet time goes. After we leave the safe house, we hunt down a broken drone.
Nailed it!
Now hold on and bring it to the ground.
It allows us to unlock a jetpack upgrade in the Traversal tree. Using it allows you to hang in the air for some time. I'm pretty sure it is meant to be a short amount of it, however the jetpack is absolutely broken. And if you keep pressing the jetpack button instead of holding it, you'll basically be able to fly to the moon without giving it a single upgrade. Then we destroy a bunch of city cameras and trigger them to attract enemies.
Swinging through searchlights will raise the threat level and summon enemies to your position.
This is something you'll be able to do in the open world at any time. However, I think that destroying cameras should itself attract enemies. The fact that you need to destroy one and then show up in front of others to get some heat is kind of stupid. Maybe it would have been better if destroying cameras increased alert a little, while showing up in front of them would increase it faster. Anyway, after you'll destroy enough enemies, you will unlock upgrade in the combat tree.
I owe you one. Give me a call if you ever want to juice up those pea shooters.
They call pea shooters because they shoot pea. Thank you. Thank you. And those are our ability tree branches: combat, utility, and traversal. I have basically two complaints here. First one is you'll probably won't unlock all the abilities by the end of the game, even if you complete every challenge with the highest score. And while that can be okay for some games, I think it does not work for this title. After beating the game for the first time, I still had about 40 skill points needed to unlock everything, which is a lot. Second complaint is more of a general gameplay thing, but it is somewhat related to the traversal tree. So there is this upgrade that allows you to swing faster and change speed more efficiently while flying. Both of those are upgrades that noticeably affect swinging. Why is it then I forgot that they existed once I began a new campaign? Well, I forgot about it because the amount of air control player has in the very beginning of the game is ridiculously high as it is. The difference from upgrading them is noticeable, but not noticeable enough. I think it would have been more fun if swinging was more challenging at the start of the game. Punishment for your mistake are loss of momentum, however, it doesn't matter, because with the amount of speed and direction control you can do in the air, you'll find yourself basically flying after a few swings, or after just one jump. Because this is some incredible Hulk levels of jumping here. Instead of steadily gaining momentum, you immediately reach maximum speed and height, even without any upgrades, even on realistic swinging setting instead of arcade one. It is so limitless that I just wish developers did not allow such amounts of air control in the early game, and shoved it as a second tier of same traversal upgrades somewhere in the ability tree instead. Like, I don't think that this is how you were supposed to get platinum in the swinging challenge. Anyway, it's fun enough, and I don't actually know how the game would function if it was more strict with players' air control. It's just mere speculations at this point. Upgrades cost ability points, and you get those by gaining enough XP. And you do that by completing story missions, beating challenges, and doing other open world activities. Mostly hacking billboards.
Use those cables to bypass power to the microchip.
They get tougher.
Care to learn the 7 most interesting facts about the history of the billboard?
To be honest, if this whole game was just hacking billboards, I'd still probably recommend it. One of the challenges you'll face is this stupid jumping challenge. You are supposed to get high score here by completing challenge in the fastest way possible. However, with all of that air control you have, one thing you cannot do is fall faster. So you get to the waypoint in a few seconds and then you have to wait until you fall. And again. And again. And again. So I have no idea what you actually need to do here to improve your time. Other type of challenge where I ended up not getting platinum a few times is the shooting challenge. My hand gets tired from staying raised for so many minutes. Apart from those two, there is 3 kinds of swinging challenges and 1 shooting challenge. In the shooting one, you have to protect the terminal from drones. Getting platinum here is very dependent on whether or not you upgraded your weapons. And this is partially why I think not being able to get all the upgrades even after finishing all the story missions and challenges doesn't work for this game.
Interesting.
You find something useful?
Not useful exactly, but it looks like President Hammond was a big fan of crypto.
Oh god, he can never find out.
I already mentioned one of the 3 swinging challenges. In it you chase a beam of light, and yeah. If you want to get platinum here, it is easier to abuse air control and the lack of vertical high point for the marker. I don't have much to say about other 2 kinds. One is an obstacle challenge, and it's quite fun, and the other one involves you shooting targets while flying. What is worth mentioning is the way you stumble upon those challenges. In this game you have 3 ways of discovering side missions. First is to simply encounter them while swinging across the city. Works especially well with billboards. Second is the skill you can unlock. You press a button and scanner shows you all nearby challenges with a beam of light. However, it does not permanently add them to your map. During my first playthrough I saved up on ability points as much as possible, so I ended up not buying this skill at all, and I actually kind of regret doing that. It is nice to find stuff to do without opening your map or searching for a nearby antenna. Antennas is the third way to find nearby challenges. You'll have to look for them on top of buildings, and they are used for scanning a wider area than the skill you can unlock. Also, it adds everything found to your map, so you can track what challenges you already completed and which ones you didn't. But before going to get high scores in every challenge game has to offer, we head out to get a shiny pair of new toys.
Shotgun pistols. My own design. High damage, widespread, oh perfect for drones.
They suck! Bullets disappear after 2 shots, and their speed is not high enough to reach enemies in time for the 3rd shot, so most of the time they disappear before even hitting an enemy. There is an upgrade that makes bullet faster, however it doesn't help much, and there are better skills to spend points on. They do look cool, however, and they have their use if a bunch of enemies are stacked or close enough to you. Also, they are required for some of the shooting challenges. And with this, you have all the tools you need to finish every challenge in the city. Completing challenges and side missions attracts followers to your cause, and when you gain enough of them, you'll be able to beat the final baddie. That is basically the whole game. It might sound a little boring, however, core gimmick is cool, dialogue is quick and jokey, some challenges are engagingly hard to master, and the story, while being video gamey, does keep you moving forward until you reach the end credits. That is, if you won't repeat my mistake of moving so fast that you unintentionally skip or trigger next dialogue line before previous one ended.
So it's impossible to enter the simulation world without the headset?
Not technically impossible, no, but you'd need a supercomputer the size.
Building clean.
What?
Concord, are you there?
I am here.
Emerson is planning something. He's trying to build a neural bridge, and I think he's gonna use it to come after you. Ezra, you there?
I am, yes.
And?
I can't believe it.
What?
Sam, take a look.
That's awesome!
I'm transmitting images of this all over the network. By morning, the entire city will have seen it.
Oh, I don't think it will change much. The entire city is a bunch of Slendermans. After credits, you are free to roam and get new high scores for challenges you've already beat. However, from my experience, replaying the game is actually more fun. That way you are not overwhelmed with the sheer amount of them, and can see which ones you've already completed and which ones you didn't. However, it would still be nice if challenges where you already scored platinum were somehow labeled on the map. Oh, also, you can collect notes in this game. You'd fly through the city and hear a distant sound. Follow it and you'll find it hidden somewhere in plain sight. Basically, it's a game of hot and cold.
Congratulations. Getting here can't have been easy, and I want you to know it wasn't worth it.
Okay, they are video game notes, alright. There is 20 notes! It would have been better if they gave you ability points instead. The act of finding them is fun in itself, but the reward sucks. Kind of reminds me of life, actually. Anyway, good game. Bye.
Rift quality experiences.